why this happened, but about a year ago, I developed eczema. It started on my legs and my fingers, and I had a little bout on my eyelids, and it's been on and off for the past year, but it's stayed consistently more on my legs than it has been not there. And it's gotten to a horrible point where my legs are not fully covered, but there are a lot of very inflamed spots. And I don't know what caused me to develop eczema, but someone said to me, maybe it's your body's way of releasing and clearing the stress, and it's just getting stuck on your skin. And that makes a lot of sense because my husband had brain surgery to remove a brain tumor almost 7 months ago. It has been 7 months, I think, and ever since then it's gotten so much worse. And I think it's because my body finally has the time and the ability to clear and move all of this stress, and it's just getting stuck. And I went and saw a dermatologist this week, and she gave me 4 weeks. I have 4 weeks to kind of figure out what's going on and then go see her. And specifically what I mean by that, she gave me a prescription for a topical steroid, and I personally absolutely do not want to use a topical steroid because I have heard so many stories of people doing that and then having horrible topical steroid withdrawal. And I just don't want to put my body through that. And at the end of the day, it's truly only a bandage, and it's not fixing the root cause. And I don't personally know what the root cause is at the moment. I'm working with my Chinese medicine doctor to try and figure that out, but we can't seem to figure that out either. So my dermatologist basically gave me 4 weeks till I have to come back. And if I'm not showing signs of improvement, then I have to change the course. And I'm not going to use a steroid. So I'm going to try to heal my eczema naturally in 4 weeks. And I sure as heck I can go in there and be like, yes, it's gone. And then I can say, and I didn't use the topical steroid cream. And I wonder what the reaction will be. But I have done so much, and I mean so much research. I've read so many stories from people who have eczema. I've talked to so many people who have eczema, their children have eczema, and I have compiled the most in-depth protocol for myself that covers topical, internal, and lifestyle changes to address it from all fronts, because it is often said that it is not just a topical thing. You have to address what is happening internally that's causing it, which I know is the case. So this is the protocol that I've created for myself, and let's dive into all of the things. Okay, starting with topical, this is probably like the smallest category of all the things. Number 1 is taking Epsom salt and apple cider vinegar baths every day or every other day, depending on how it fits into my schedule, but at least aiming for like 4 times a week. I'm really gonna try to go for every day. Instead of taking a shower, I'm just gonna do a quick rinse, and then I'm gonna soak in the bath just to like get off all my sweat, and then soak in like a lukewarm bath. And my rinse off will be cold or lukewarm, because hot showers, as much as I freaking love a hot shower, it dries out the skin, which is a real bummer, and it affects your skin barrier. So I need to like retrain my body to not feel like I have to have the heat. So taking an Epsom salt and apple cider vinegar bath, 1 to 2 cups of Epsom salt, 1/4 of a cup to 1/2 of a cup of apple cider vinegar. And then as soon as I get out of the shower, just lightly drying off so that I'm still damp. And then I'll be applying a calendula salve. And pretty much everything I'm doing topically and internally is because it has anti-inflammatory properties, antimicrobial properties, or it's super hydrating. And calendula is one of those things. And so using a calendula salve, it just has calendula and beeswax and a couple other things, and putting that on just the spots, letting that absorb a little bit. And then that leads me to the next thing, which is to put on a homemade super hydrating oil, which I make using equal parts castor oil, tamanu oil, jojoba oil, and then I put a few droppers full of squalene, which helps like lock in moisture. I also use this on my face, and so if it works on my face, I don't see why it wouldn't work on my whole body. Making a bigger batch of that and putting that on after the bath all over my whole body just to hydrate all of my skin. And then I'm also using that calendula oil, applying it multiple times throughout the day, like 4 times, 5 times a day, and then applying a lotion over that. Just really keeping the skin hydrating, and ideally moisturizing my skin 3 to 4 times a day. So my plan is to put my oil on in the morning and then at night, and then gives it time to like absorb into the skin. And I'm hoping that those things work, but I'm also addressing the internal. And I talked about this in last week's video. And if you're interested in that, I talk a lot about all the food I'm eating to heal my skin. I will link it there. But first things first is eating beans. Beans away from fats specifically. So I start my morning by brushing my teeth, oil pulling, and then I will eat 2 tablespoons of beans before I have my tea ceremony. And then my hope is to add in another dose or 2 doses of those 2 tablespoons of beans away from fats, ideally 90 minutes away from fats. And the reason being is that when you eat those beans, the fiber in them will absorb all of the toxin and overproduction of hormones and help move it out of the body. And so I'm hoping if that's part of the issue, that's helping to clear that out. If you're more interested in that, there is an amazing woman named Karen Hurd, and she's the one that created the bean protocol that helped actually save her daughter's life after she was poisoned. I'm gonna eat beans, lots of beans. And then I'll be taking omega-3 supplements, which I've already been doing. They can be really helpful for skin issues. And then I'm taking a nettles and quercetin supplement. Nettles and quercetin are really good for histamine, and so this part of this is a histamine response. So taking the nettles and the quercetin, just as I'm normally doing, I take it twice a day, morning and night, as directed on the bottle. And making sure I'm drinking at least 64 ounces of water, if not more, and really hydrating my body from the inside out. And so I drink plain water, and then I do a lot of herbal infusions that help me just get more minerals and nutrients and hydration, which leads me to the next thing. Drinking a lot of anti-inflammatory teas and antihistamine teas. Things like ginger, peppermint, rooibos, licorice, nettles, which is actually in my hair growth tea that I drink every single day, and just drinking like 1 or 2 of these herbal teas every single day. So I'm gonna be like literally like all tea. I drink so much tea every single day. And that's what I'm doing to address the internal, aside from the basics of just getting enough fiber and protein and eating a lot of plants, avoiding processed foods. I might try and completely cut sugar. I do love fruit, so I think I will still stick with that, just no processed sugar, which I also love maple syrup. But sticking with really clean, whole foods, that is the plan, which is pretty much how I eat right now. But I do love a little treat every once in a while. By like every other day, basically. And then I'm addressing my lifestyle. And this looks like, I already do this, but cutting all fragrances from everything. Eczema hates fragrances. It is so irritating. And so we already use fragrance-free everything, but just being very adamant, like maybe keeping a little bottle of soap in my bag, because I hate when I'm out and about and you use the hand soap and then your hands smell. So I might add a little bottle of like Dr. Bronner's in my purse, and so that I have that when I'm out and about, so that there's no options for me to be exposed topically to fragrances other than if it's in the air and it gets on my skin, which is awful because it's not good for you. And then avoiding synthetic fabric clothing. The only thing that I have that is synthetic is my workout clothes, and I'm trying to slowly replace that with cotton or hemp, but it's taking time because it's expensive to replace those things. So I'm using what I have until I can get new things, but otherwise really only using cotton, hemp, silk, wool, just like natural fibers. Linen, that feels so much better on my skin anyways, so just really sticking with that. A lot of these things I'm already doing, but I'm just really like wanting to say them out loud, so I just reinforce them. And a lot of these like lifestyle physical things are to just help my lymphatic system function properly, so that I'm again clearing out any toxic buildup and moving everything within my body in a healthy way. That looks like doing the Big 6. I think the creator of that is Chasing Pain. I will link it below. It is an amazing, quick little lymphatic activation that you can do. It takes literally 2 minutes, and I will do that. And then once I'm done, I get on the shake plate for 15 minutes and I shake and just get everything moving. It's been so helpful. I used to get really bad knee pain from hiking and moving because I was a gymnast growing up, and it just caused a lot of like lower extremity joint pain, and I don't have any, and I've been working out a lot more. Like, I really used to struggle doing like lunges, and now I can do them no problem, no knee pain. So the shake plate works for that, but I'm hoping that it can just help move the lymph and just get things moving and grooving, getting things cleared out of my body. After I do the shake plate, I work out. So continuing that, working out ideally 6, if not 7 days a week, and it not having to be like strenuous workouts every single day. I do weightlifting 3 days a week, and then the other days doing Pilates or yoga, something gentle. It could just be a long stretch, but just moving my body, because one, it makes me feel good, but again, it just helps relieve stress. It helps just move everything, and I'm gonna stick with that. I've been doing it for 6 weeks now, so I know that that's not helping my eczema, but it helps my mental health. My mental health is not the best at the moment. It's better than it has been in a long time, but I am struggling because my skin is so itchy, and it just helps me like take a moment and like I'm in my body and I'm not thinking about the agitation that my skin is causing or the self-consciousness, because it looks like I have a disease and it's not fun, and it's summertime almost, and I'd like to show off my legs. So I also want to fix this for vain reasons. And then the last couple things are, I want a sauna 3 days a week. We have an infrared sauna, and again, just help moving toxins out of the body. I don't sweat a whole lot in the sauna, which is good because it's not great to be like sweating if you have eczema, but my legs don't really sweat anyway, so I don't think it'll be a huge problem. But just sitting in there for like 20-25 minutes, so not doing a super long session, but doing that 3 days a week. And then also doing castor oil packs and sleeping with them on, putting it on over my liver, and doing that 3 to 4 days a week, as long as I'm not on my menstrual cycle, because you don't want to do that while you're bleeding, because it's not good for you, because it helps promote blood flow, and then you might bleed more than you need to be. So I will only be doing it the other days of the month, but doing that 3 to 4 days a week, again, help the body to detox. And then last but not least is walking every single day, getting my body moving and just being outside, especially the fresh air, getting my limbs moving, my body working. And ideally I want to walk between 8,000 and 10,000 steps a day, which is not far off from where I am right now. So it's also like a little goal for myself. I'm anxious. I'm hopeful that doing all these things will help my eczema finally once and for all clear up. And if it doesn't, then that's going to send me on a whole other side quest in life. Like, I don't know. I think I might have to get like a poop sample, test it, and see if there's something going on with my gut, my microbiome, but hopefully it doesn't lead to that. And that would be cool to do anyways. But I'm hoping that in 4 weeks of doing all of this consistently, I'm gonna be right back here sharing really good news and showing you how well my skin has improved. So I will see you then in 4 weeks. Wish me luck, and make sure you subscribe so you can see that video when it comes out. I love you, and if you also have eczema, I hope maybe some of these tools might help you as well. Or if you have other tools that might be helpful to me or to anyone else with eczema, let me know in the comments. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.